Hey guys, this is Betamax Man. Yes, I know this is not a beta machine. This is a VHS machine. Well, this is one of my personal playback decks. So, of course I have a few different VHS machines, but this one I liked because it's got Dolby Stereo. It's not a hi-fi, but at least it has Dolby Stereo. Anyway, so I'll show you what it's doing. So we'll get our tape out. This is Rapunzel. And this one does not automatically play. You have to hit play. And apparently this is all it does. And then it eats the tape. This is what it does. So we're going to fix the machine. So let's take the top off and see what's going on. So we've got the top off. You guys see what I see? This sure looks like a belt that's come off. See that? It's a belt. That belt's popped off. So that's what's causing it to not play. So, gonna have to get to the bottom of this machine. Now this is I'm not sure what mechanism this is. I'm not a VHS person, so I have no idea who made this chassis. But it may be a Hitachi built machine, because it does look like a Hitachi. Now I'm gonna have to take the screws off the bottom here, so we'll do that. But we gotta unplug this thing before working on it. But let's get the bottom off, and then we'll be able to determine where the belt goes, and then we'll see if that fixes the problem. It should, if that's the only problem, but I don't know for sure. So, but this one does have the ability to record in the LP mode. I liked LP because LP gave you 4 hours of recording on a T120 cassette, but yet you still had a decent picture. So with that being said, that's the second reason why I like this VHS machine. And one of the other reasons why, because it's got Dolby Stereo, which I'm actually fascinated with Dolby Stereo. Pretty sure that this isn't a Hitachi. It sure does look like a Hitachi made machine. You can see where the belt has slipped off. So let's just see if we can get that belt to go back on. Try to find where my dental pick is. Okay. Let's just get this belt back on. Oh, it's stretched. The belt is stretched. Looks like a clutch mechanism, but it's like, but it's for the idler. It's drawing the, it moves the idler, but that belt is not in very good condition. But there it is right there that we just put back on. So let's just see. Hey, I forgot to power it off. That's okay, it's just a belt. It's not like it's gonna hurt it to leave it plugged in for a belt. Play. Okay. It's playing. It's not eating the tape. Okay, that's what the problem was. That was too simple, too easy. Way too easy. But that belt does need to be replaced. But I don't have any replacement belts, at least not for the RCA Hitachi made. I'm pretty sure this is Hitachi. It's the idler that was the idler belt that came off. Okay, sweet. It's working. No issues. So we fixed it. Just a belt that slipped off. And why did the belt slip off? Because it's worn out and stretched. And to be honest with you, the belt should be replaced. But I really don't have any for VHS machines. So I don't carry belts because I repair beta machines. And beta machines, most of the betas don't have belts, except for the Sanyos and the Toshibas. And I have belts for those, but not for VHS machines. But at least we know that, hey, this is now working. And it's just the belt had slipped off. So, yeah, we're just having that belt that had slipped off. Now, This has actually got a couple of different loading belts. It's got two loading belts, which is, this particular design was commonly used for RCA, and they did away with the geared, or the idler tire, and they went with a geared idler. But even though that idler is geared, it still uses a belt to operate the idler. But if you've got situations with VHS machines when they're eating tapes, a lot of times the problem for eating tapes is caused by the idler not working. Bad idler will eat tapes. A bad idler will do a lot of things. Now, of course, if your machine is doing weird things like doesn't go into the right mode, mode switch is commonly a problem on these. So this one actually has a tape stabilizer. This is a little tape stabilizer over here. But yeah, that's pretty simple. So we can put it back together, and you know, if we wanted, we could do a, see what the picture's like. I'm wondering what this circuit board does, because there's obviously some video. This is probably the video board, but they don't mark their circuit boards like Sony did. Sony used to mark all of their boards as to what it was, where some of the VHS machines did not have this. This one, I'm going to say, is probably from the early 80s. This was when they started miniaturizing things. It doesn't look like an 80s VCR. It looks more like a early 90s machine. And it could very well be that this may be a early 90s machine, but I don't think so. And because it's got the Dolby stereo, which was the linear stereo that was before hi-fi. Now, Sony came out with hi-fi stereo in 1983, and JVC followed the following year in 84. So this probably was made in 82, 83, but it does look like a more modern machine. So, you know, but I just can't imagine them using Dolby stereo system even after hi-fi came out. I just can't foresee that. I would think that this is probably between an 82 or 83 model. I mean, maybe it's got some stuff on the back that may see if we've got a date here. But this machine works. I mean, it was working and then it quit. But now I got it working again because it was just a belt. But let's see if there's. It was made in Japan. RCA Corporation. Indianapolis. Probably these are. It's got an Indianapolis address. That's for the RCA Corporation. I don't know. I don't see a year. date anywhere on this thing. Yeah, I don't really see anything. I see there's a serial number, the model number VMT297. But I don't see anything. But I would say that this machine was probably 82, maybe 83. And it's weird. It's almost like it's got cutouts for the RCA connectors. It looks like it's got cutouts for them, but that's not where they put them. Anyway. And here's a board here. Who knows what this board does? It could be the servo board. It could be just about anything. You know. But, yeah. But this is definitely an RCA mechanism. I mean, a Hitachi mechanism is what it looks like. It looks like to me that this is a Hitachi mechanism. You know, like I said, I don't work on VHS, so I'm not real fond of VHS, but I do have them from time to time. I do work on them. Okay, we got it hooked up to the TV, so. Well, I've got audio, no video. My heads are dirty. How original. Well, there's something on the heads, because the heads are dirty, or my tracking could be off as well. Let's try that first, because that could be the problem. Yeah, the heads are dirty because it's not displaying any kind of picture, so we're gonna clean the heads. Hopefully it still works. I mean, gosh, I should have tested it before I put the top back on, but now I'm going to take the top back off. So, okay, heads are dry. Let's pop in a cassette. Play. There we go. Solved. Man, look how crappy VHS is. It's just not as clear. It's a little fuzzy, you know. It just, the picture is not that sharp. When you're used to watching Betamax versus VHS, you really instantly see the difference. But sometimes somebody who's not used to seeing beta may not be able to tell the difference, but I can tell the difference. Not as clear, that's for sure, and the colors are more oversaturated. But good, we got it working. Forward, reverse, Now I can actually show this without getting hit with a copyright, because there were some times now what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, this one, there's no copyright claim. People have downloaded these stories to YouTube, and YouTube doesn't say anything. So maybe the rights are expired, or maybe Shelley Duvall just never renewed the copyright. I don't know. Yeah, I can tell that there's the colors are over exaggerated. They're just not. Yeah, VHS really was crap. I mean, just crap. Sorry, but you know, I'm sorry to all you VHS fans out there. Beta was better, and it definitely, you know, you could see it, you know. So, but I'm trying to collect. I've got them on Betamax, and I'm trying to collect all of them on the beta format. But I do have a few of them on VHS, and yeah, the quality of beta is so much better than VHS. You know, let's see what the pause looks like. Not bad for a 2-head. I mean, you got some noise there at the top. If this would have had dual azimuth heads, then it would pause perfect. But yeah. Yeah, well, we know that the picture's not going to get any better than that. However, the audio, the linear audio isn't bad. I do like Dolby Stereo, and basically Dolby Stereo, the way it works is they took the mono signal and split it into 2 tracks of audio, so that you have a left speaker and a right speaker. So you basically, all it's doing is recording the left side on a smaller amount. It records in a stripe on the bottom. The audio is recorded on in a stripe. So there's basically, it's the equivalent. This is the equivalent of taking a mono machine and putting a Y adapter on the plug so that it splits it into 2 channels of audio. And that's basically all they've done here with Dolby Stereo. However, they have introduced Dolby noise reduction on this particular machine, so it can really actually clean up any distortion that the mono audio usually has. Like, usually mono, if you have the volume up, you can hear hissing sound. Well, that hissing sound is almost non-existent with the Dolby noise reduction. But you're still getting a mono signal that's been split into 2 channels. But this is not a bad machine, actually. I like the fact this thing can record in the LP mode. Now, it would be interesting to see if this will record copyright tapes, because the Magnavoxes did allow you to make a recording of the copyright protected. But what it would do was it would copy the copyright protection. So it would copy the Macrovision and put it onto the blank tape. So it would make a perfect copy and it would play back perfectly. But if you would go to copy off of it with a machine that can't copy, it would be the same thing, because it's basically transferring the Macrovision signal as well. So it's kind of hard to explain, but... And Magnavoxes and RCAs were the two machines that I remember back in the day that would record copyright protected tapes. The Macrovision really didn't affect the recording, and in fact it recorded the Macrovision along with it. And interesting, you know, because yeah, I used to do that kind of stuff when I was a kid, you know, but because you'd buy a tape at a store, if you go buy a tape and you want to make a copy of it and put your original on the shelf and just play back your copy, and you wear out your copy instead of wearing out your expensive tape. Well, looks like this is working again. So it had a belt that slipped off, and it had dirty video heads. Other than that, the machine is working perfect. Because we've got fast forward, we got rewind, keeps the tape unloaded, completely unloaded when it's doing its fast rewind or fast forward. When it's doing that, so, and it doesn't take long for the tape to rewind. But yeah, I mean, with the noise reduction, we'll forward this thing. With that noise reduction, you really don't hear much of the tape hiss. So the Dolby stereo machines were great machines. So if I turn it up a little, it doesn't have the hiss.
Magic is everywhere if you've got a genie on your side. You are now my master, and I am here to grant you any wish that you may desire. And the magic rubs off on Aladdin and his wonderful lamp, starring Leonard Nimoy, Valerie Bertinelli.
Yeah, so we're gonna put the top back on, and that'll be it on this video, I think. So we'll put the top on. But it is a nice machine. So we'll put the screws on, and then that'll be it. But I'm glad this is working again. like I said, this is one of my personal decks, and as you noticed, I have it set for LP, but it'll do SLP. There's SP for super play, LP for long play, and SLP is super long play, or EP, which is extended long or extended play. So there's super play, long play, and extra play or extended play. So it's super play, long play, extended play, or SLP, which is super long play. There's SP, LP, and SLP. So we put it back to LP because that's what I'll use if I do any kind of recordings. If I do any kind of VHS recordings and I want to put more than 2 hours on a tape, then I'll go and use the LP because you don't lose much picture when you do LP. LP gave you a little bit more record time, but yet it wasn't bad picture quality. The quality wasn't nearly as bad as EP or SLP, because in the 6-hour record mode, I think it's too much distortion in the picture. Anyway, there we go, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this video on getting the RCA back up and running.